Birth is such a wild and amazing journey, and I'm about to embark on it for my second time at 34 weeks pregnant. In this video, I'm sharing lessons learned from my first pregnancy and what I'm doing differently this time around. If this is your first baby and you just want to hear from a mama who's been on the same journey that you're about to go on, or this is a subsequent pregnancy and you're just looking for someone who understands where you're at, this video is definitely for you. In case we haven't met, I'm Kalina. I am a full-time toddler mom and also a mom to an incoming baby girl on the way at 34 weeks pregnant. And in my channel, we're keeping things really informative and really encouraging and talking about things that are kind of natural, kind of woo-woo, homeschooling, parenting, conscious mindset. So if any of that sounds interesting or resonates with you, then go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel for new videos like this every week. I feel like every birth video needs to start with just a huge disclaimer, so I'm going to do that now. There is no one right way to give birth or to parent or to mother. So in this video, I'm not trying to preach or judge. I'm just trying to share what my experience and my personal preferences are. And if that resonates with you, great. And if it doesn't resonate with you, it's absolutely fine too. Everyone has their own journey. There isn't one right way to do this. I saw birth as this really life-defining experience. I had a very specific vision for how I wanted everything to unfold, and it just felt like this moment, I had just been waiting for this moment my whole life, and it was just going to be this rebirth and something miraculous and beautiful and something that remade me into a mom. I really believed in my own strength and my own power to be able to carry and birth a healthy baby and stay safe doing it. And honestly, I had a really easy pregnancy. I had really minimal symptoms. And for me, it was really easy to keep that positive, natural mindset going because as my pregnancy progressed and I still kind of just felt pretty good, just overall, it kind of just reinforced that mindset that things were just going to go well for me. If you're curious to learn what I'm doing to stay healthy and well during this pregnancy, check out this video. Surprise, surprise, what actually happened with my birth was totally different. 40 weeks right at the finish line, I developed just a complication and I basically had to be induced. And I did not want an induction. I really just wanted to do it on my own, but that just was not in the cards for me, medically speaking. So I did what I could. I labored for about 44 hours, which was really hard and exhausting. And I did it in a hospital setting where you're starving. So it was really, really hard. And then it ended up in total, bitter, utter disappointment with an emergency C-section at the end. When I came out of surgery and the chemicals and everything in my body kind of left, and I was sitting there with the realization of what trauma I had just gone through, it really hit me and I just had a giant breakdown. Even though baby and I were okay, which I know is the most important thing for sure, I just felt like I had been robbed of something that meant so much to me was taken from me, that a chapter of my life was closed without even being able to experience it. And it really took a toll on me. I became obsessed with going through every single detail as a postmortem. What could I have done differently? What could I have noticed earlier? What could my health team or midwife have done to just make things have gone a different way? And that obsession was really not healthy and kind of spiraled. And I felt like it got in the way of experiencing that time that was so precious with my newborn baby. So I actually did end up seeking a professional opinion on that. Seeing a therapist specific for that postpartum journey for me was really important. And I feel like it really helped kind of clear the fear and allowed me to kind of start a new chapter and feel like I could wipe the slate clean, knowing that I had done everything in my power. And it just was one of those things that just didn't work out. And it was something that I just had to kind of grieve and move on from and know that I wanted to have more kids moving forward and that I wanted to just have a clean slate and make sure that I was still going into subsequent pregnancies with a positive mindset that I had started with, that unless otherwise, specified along the journey, I just had to just have faith and assume that things were just going to go well. Things that changed this time around. I think just the general mindset about birth being this really defining moment. Not to say that it isn't defining, because it definitely is. If I could wave a magic wand and just have everything go my way, I would absolutely do that. So just in the larger scheme of motherhood, even though that timeline of 5 days felt like forever and meant so much at the time and was so defining, I feel like the 1,000+ days that I've been a mom holistically have been so much more defining. I feel like with that new perspective, it just makes me feel like no matter how this next birth unfolds, it's going to pale in comparison to all the time that I spend mothering my children throughout their entire lives. I also feel so much more educated and empowered this time around. I had friends who babysat and who had younger nieces and nephews and knew how to hold a baby and knew how to change a diaper. Not me. I remember holding my newborn son for the first time and just wondering how I wasn't going to let his neck flop around, because I just had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And I felt like it was just all totally new territory that comes with being a new mom. And now things are different. I have cleaned up so many blowouts in so many different permutations on the go and at home and strapped into my body on a baby carrier. And I'm just not worried about the same things that I was worried about. I am a battle-tested mom. I'm a full-time mom, so I've gotten a lot of practice just being a mom and dealing with the whole range of things that blessing comes with. So all the things that I was worried about after the birth of how to take care of a newborn baby, honestly, it's not even on my radar as a stressor right now, which is pretty awesome. Something else that I'm coming into the second pregnancy with is just more flexibility around how I actually envision my birth unfolding, because I had a really specific vision for how I wanted things to be. I wanted things to be very natural, very holistic. And because that just wasn't how I was able to birth, I've just made peace with alternatives at this point. I've also thought about what I would like to happen if those plan A options just can't be met for specific reasons. And I'm okay with that now. I wouldn't have been okay with that before. I didn't even think about a C-section my first time around because I just refused to even ruminate on those thoughts. I wanted to just manifest exactly what I wanted and all those good things. And this time I know that even if it results in a C-section, I've already been through it. For me, it really wasn't too bad. And if I have to do it again and it results in me meeting my baby and us being happy and healthy and moving on with our lives after the healing process, then so be it. That's okay. If you're curious about what to include in your birth plan or what a birth plan even is, check out this video. This time around, I am also still of a natural and holistic type of mindset. I would like to try for a VBAC, which stands for vaginal birth after cesarean. And I kid you not, I probably called over 20 different providers in my area to ask if that's something that they supported. And I actually did find one that is extremely supportive. It was tough listening to those 19, 20 other providers saying that it's just not something that they supported or that the risks were too high and it's just not something that they were interested in doing for liability reasons. And it's hard not to kind of take that personally or feel like maybe I'm doing something wrong or maybe I should be more scared about this than I am right now. But I finally did find one. And the first time I spoke to that OB, I asked her, have you done VBACs before? And she kind of scoffed at me a little bit and said, yeah. And I said, okay, well, can you elaborate? How many have you done? And she said, I honestly don't know. There's been too many to count, which was an amazing answer. In my second appointment, I actually had another doctor that was in the same practice. And I kid you not, these words came out of her mouth. We love VBACs. We do them all the time. So to go from 19, 20 OBs saying that they wouldn't do it and support VBAC because it's high risk, to this particular provider saying that they actually love them and have done them successfully too many times to count, I mean, that really upped my confidence and made me feel like this was something that I could do. This time around, I'm also healthier. So even though I'm 35 now, which I know is a high risk pregnancy, and I'm gonna have the biggest, slowest eye roll ever to that, what they don't account for is your actual overall health. So even though I'm a couple years older than I was, I started my pregnancy at a lower weight. My body composition was much better. I was more fit. I was in a really good routine. I have stopped eating fast food. I have basically taken on a totally organic, whole food diet that I eat, that I make at home. So just everything about my life and about my body is so much healthier than it was my first time around. So I feel like that can only increase my chances of things going right. A message to other moms is that every birth is such a miraculous and different experience. Everyone should be able to be informed and be entitled to understand what the options are and to pick what options work best for them, and entitled to also change their mind as things go on or just as you learn more information. Just staying informed and feeling like you're in the driver's seat of your own pregnancy and your own birth is so important. So just speak up. And if you find someone that doesn't allow you to do that or just shuts down all of your preferences, maybe without even giving you a reason or any explanations why, and just kind of shutting you down, maybe they're not the best provider for you. So keep calling people. The right provider for you is out there, whether that's an amazing OB in hospital, whether it's a birth center, whether it's a home birth, whether it's a midwife or a doula. There's so many different options. So advocate for yourself or find someone in a little village that can help advocate for you. I hope this video has been encouraging, knowing that you are not traversing this journey alone. And I hope that your birth and your pregnancy are so healthy and so blessed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.